Women's efforts. Women played a significant and multifaceted role in the World War II, contributing to the war effort in various capacities on the home front and in military service. Their efforts encompassed a wide range of roles, including factory workers, nurses, pilots, code breakers, resistant fighters, and more. Women's contributions during World War II were instrumental in supporting the war effort, sustaining economies, and advancing social change. Industrial workers. With millions of men serving in the military, women took on essential roles in factories, munition plants, and manufacturing facilities to produce weapons, equipment, and supplies for the war. Women worked as welders, machinists, riveters, and assembly line workers, contributing to wartime production of aircraft, tanks, ships, and ammunition. The iconic image of Rosie the Riveter symbolised the spirit of women working in defence industries and supporting the war effort during the manual labour and industrial production. Women's contributions to the industrial workforce were vital in sustaining military operations and ensuring the supply of critical resources. Nurses and medics. Women served as nurses, medics, and medical personnel in military hospitals, field units, and aid stations, providing care to wounded soldiers, civilians, and prisoners of war. Nurses played a crucial role in treating injuries, diseases, and trauma on the front lines and in military hospitals. The dedication and compassion of women in medical roles helped save lives, alleviate suffering, and provide comfort to those affected by the war. Many women in medical service faced dangers, hardships, and emotional challenges while tending to the wounded and caring for the sick. Resistant fighters. In occupied territories and countries under enemy control, women participated in resistant movements, underground networks, and espionage activities to sabotage enemy operations, gather intelligence, and support liberation efforts. Women served as couriers, radio operators, code breakers, and fighters in resistance cells. The courage and determination of women in resistance movements played crucial roles in undermining enemy forces, disrupting supply lines, and coordinated covert operations. Women risked their lives to resist oppression and protect communities and contribute to the eventual defeat of the Axis powers. Military service. Women served in various branches of the military, including the Women's Army Corps, WWII, Women Accepted for Voluntary Emergency Service, WAVES, Women Air Force Service Pilots, WASP, and other auxiliary units. Women performed administrative, clerical, technical, and support roles within the armed forces. The contributions of women in military service expanded opportunities for women to serve their countries, gain valuable skills, and demonstrate their capabilities in traditionally male-dominated fields. Women in military roles paved the way for greater gender equality and recognition of women's service in the armed forces. Home front. Women on the home front played crucial roles in supporting families, communities, and the war effort through various activities. They volunteered for civil defence, rationed resources, planted victory gardens, organised fundraisers, and provided emotional and practical support to soldiers and their families. Women's efforts on the home front helped maintain social cohesion, boost morale, and sustain civilian populations during times of hardship and uncertainty. Their contributions to the war-related initiatives and community resilience were essential to the overall success of the war effort. The experiences of women during World War II had a lasting impact on society, politics, and gender roles. Women's contributions to the war effort challenged traditional stereotypes, expanded opportunities for women in the workforce, and paved the way for greater gender equality in the post-war era. Land girls. During World War II, the Women's Land Army, often referred to as land girls, played a crucial role in agricultural production and food security in countries such as the United Kingdom. The Women's Land Army was a civilian organisation that recruited women to work on farms, estates and rural areas to replace male agricultural workers who'd enlisted in the military. The Land Girls contributed significantly to the war effort by ensuring the production of food, supporting the agricultural industry and maintaining the country's self-sufficiency during a time of national crisis. The Women's Land Army was officially established in Britain in 1939 in response to the growing need for agricultural labour as men were called up for military service. The organisation recruited women from diverse backgrounds, including urban areas, to work in rural settings and support food production. The Women's Land Army operated under the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries and worked closely with farmers, landowners and agricultural organisations to provide labour assistance and training to women entering the agricultural sector. Land Girls performed a wide range of agricultural tasks and responsibilities to support farm operations and food production. Some of the duties included ploughing fields and planting crops, harvesting produce, tending to livestock such as cows, sheep and poultry, operating machinery, tractors and agricultural equipment, repairing fences, maintaining farm buildings and other manual labour tasks, assisting with farm management, crop rotation and agricultural practices. Working as a land girl presented various challenges and hardships, including long hours, physical labour and exposure to the elements. Many land girls came from urban backgrounds and had little experience or training in agricultural work, requiring them to quickly adapt to rural life and farm practices. Accommodations for land girls varied, with some living on farms and communal hostels provided by the Women's Land Army. The work was demanding and the conditions could be tough, especially during planting and harvesting seasons when labour needs were high. Despite the challenges, many land girls found the experience rewarding and empowering as they were able to contribute directly to the war effort, learn new skills and form strong bonds with fellow workers and farmers. The Women's Land Army made a significant contribution to the war effort by ensuring the continuity of agricultural production, maintaining food supplies and supporting the British economy during a time of national crisis. Land girls were essential to the success of the agricultural sector and played a vital role in sustaining the home front. After the war, the Women's Land Army was disbanded and the contributions of the land girls were often overlooked or undervalued. However, in later years, efforts were made to recognise and honour the service of the land girls through memorials, reunions and campaigns advocating for their recognition and contributions.